Painting is a dance for me. I dance every morning. I'm never bored. I'm never staring at a canvas. I play with colors and suddenly magic happens. Colors always says little stories to me. There's little drips here, drips there. It's joyful. It's a wonderful feeling.
JAYA. The cinematography in this was just absolutely lovely. But the thing that stood out was him. His enthusiasm, he just radiated light and goodness and warmth. I loved the work that he was doing in Cambodia because it's heartbreaking to see families who are so poverty-stricken that their children have to go out and beg or work to help support the family. Yeah, children deserve to have a childhood. I loved his wife. She seemed to be equally as lovely, but there's just something so infectious about him. You enjoy watching him on camera and he gets you excited about the things that he's doing, which is wonderful. Massive props to the filmmakers for doing this film because it really was stunning.
JAYA, I really loved this. I think it is such a beautiful story and such a captivating story as well. And you can truly see how passion and art and just being told that what you really care about is kind of good enough, you don't have to strive for anything else, is so important. And that especially in places where art isn't necessarily taken seriously or, prioritized, that it can still have such a big impact and such a big part of people's lives. And then even beyond that, giving back to these places, giving back to these communities where kids don't necessarily always get to be kids and they, feel the need to provide for their families, or they are just in situations where they're not really given the same kind of freedoms, I guess, that, other kids in different places in the world are, and, giving them, even if it's just a little bit of art, just a little bit of time where they can, kind of recapture that lost youth, that lost kind of innocence, I think is really beautiful just by itself. But then on top of that, seeing how involved he gets and how much of an impact it makes in these kids' lives, I think is really, really beautiful. And that he kind of did it all through art, and that, that's his thing in life. That's what he's really passionate about, and using that and figuring out a way to use that to make this kind of impact, that, he didn't have to suddenly try and do something else to make an impact. He used his passion to still achieve these amazing things. And I think that, like I said, it's really beautiful, touching story, and kind of goes to show you how it's not necessarily the big things, but it's like the little things that can really make these, amazing impacts in other people's lives.
This film is about an artist, JAYA, and his life and the meaning behind his art and the impact he's had on children and the people around him in his life. I really love the order of events that they had for this film. I think that I like that it starts more with his community engagement and the inspiration he's had on children and underprivileged communities. And then it goes into his personal life and the inspiration behind his art and how he came to where he is today, before going back to the impact he's had on these children and the community. And I think it emphasizes the importance of the community his work has had on the lives of these children. that he teaches and their impact on his life especially as well. And in the end, we see many of these children have gone on to do incredible things, and I think it just really shows the impact of his work and how much he inspired them. It's really inspiring to me how he's been able to create such a fulfilling and impactful life in which he's able to help and inspire so many kids to do what they love, all while doing what he loves and finding new ways to love his art and find new adventures for himself.